Welcome to Gloucester, welcome to the foothills of the Cotswolds, a designated area of natural beauty. And well, that might be how a few around these parts have described the 6,500 square metres in front of us this season, as Queen's Home is reappointed as the name of this famous stadium in honour of the regal talents of their Gloucester-Hartpury side. Their opponents, nearby neighbours of less than 50 miles away, the ever-tenacious Bristol Bears. A third year in a row that these two meet at semi-final stage. And Sean will be hoping that it's a three-peat of the past two seasons as his side bid for a third final, a third title with this team selection. And it features all the stardust we've come to expect. 14 English, Welsh and Irish internationals in the starting lineup, with the Red Roses skipper and an England World Cup winner as co-captains in 𝗂𝗂𝗲𝗏 and Natasha Hunt. Maud Muir is back into the front row, Tat Hurd to the centre, alongside Wales captain Hannah Jones. Emma Singh, the regular season's Golden Boot top scorer, sweeping up at fullback. For Dave Ward's Bristol Bears, well, a similar story. 13 internationals from England, Wales, Scotland and the US of A. Abby Ward, 69 cut Red Rose, second row is one co-captain. Amber Reid, another World Cup winner from the class of 2014, the other. An all-English front row that would, well, steal your lunch money, and probably a back line that'll run off with it, happily going through you or around you. Bevan on flying form, Ma a menace, Jasmine Joyce Butcher's back, and some more of both the punch and pace on the bench, with Marston Mulhern and Millie David to introduce later on. The sun has been shining, glorious conditions, chilly in the shade, warm where it's beating down. 89 tries scored over the season for Bristol Bears. What a few weeks they've had as they fought to be here and make it to the top four. It's almost been cup final after cup final, but they didn't make it easy for themselves. A one-point loss to Ealing Trailfinders, a loss to Loughborough Lightning. But a free-falling Exeter Chiefs team did them a favour, and Bears grabbed just enough points with victory at Harlequins under the lights a fortnight ago. Dave Ward believing his side are battle-hardened and hoping that this will be the edge they need this afternoon. There's a big noise on the microphone. Mark Atkinson, former part of the men's club, announcing on Gloucester-Hartpury. 90 tries scored in their campaign, only 49 conceded, a number that illustrates how proud they are of the cherry and white defensive wall, which Bristol will have to try and break through today. Natasha Hunt, Mo Hunt, speaking this week about how they treated their Harlequins match last week like a quarter-final to get their minds into knockout rugby. They certainly delivered a sucker punch to yesterday's losing finalists, a 52-12 scoreline that suggests this side are right where they need to be if they are to be the history makers, if they are to bag a third successive Premiership women's title in a row, the semi-final to win before all that, the rarest of prizes that they would dearly love to gift to their departing head coach Sean Lynn, who is off to international waters with Wales. Now, my train connection's got a bit misaligned, so I had to jump in a taxi from Swindon to Queen's Home, and well, the driver here from Swindon was telling me that Abby Dow's his favourite player, how he lamented the Red Roses loss to New Zealand 3 years ago, and how he takes his mum to watch Lionesses games. Keith, you are part of the change, because as a famous T-shirt says, everyone watches women's sports.
Okay.
Our referee this afternoon is Adam Thomas, assisted by Nicky O'Donnell and Callum Howard. Sarah Byrne's title for this one was probably the one we need. The best in the West, the circus against the Bears. Good afternoon, Emily Scarrett.
Good afternoon. I am so excited for this game. The crowd here, the atmosphere, the entrance, everything. I'm super excited, and I'm sure the teams are going to deliver for us.
Big high one for Courtney Keat to deal with. Oh, and she's managed to find a couple of doors left open down the central corridor. Down she goes. Bottoman from Bevan. Miss pass from Aitchison. Ma comes in to help secure the possession for the Bears. Lark Atkin-Davis. Reid On for Byrne. Just a little high, that one, but Abby Ward was happy to tidy it up now. Holly Aitchison. Not too much opening it up for her. Bristol will look to find their shape again, and it's Reid, and that's just a little tip through the gap for 𝗤𝘂𝗲𝗏𝗄𝗎, and Reid did really well to gather that little offload back inside. Ward couldn't quite get it away for 𝗤𝘂𝗏𝗏𝗏, such was the presence of Bethan Lewis. Aitchison. You will just see the 10 and 12 on the backs of Aitchison and Reid, but they will interchange all afternoon. They wore the opposite numbers in the final last year, but they are the playmakers for this Bristol Bears side. When you get the two of them in tandem, well, they can cross that pitch, Emily Scarrett, in about 50 metres with two passes, can't they?
They sure can, and for me, this is the game right now. It's Bristol Bears' attack. It's how they keep hold of the ball. It's how they try and wear you down to either find that break or you concede that penalty, versus the Gloucester-Hartpury defence that is just holding strong, holding their channels, staying super disciplined, and this is literally the battle of the whole game for me.
So it came forwards off Mia Venner in the tackle, and it'll be a scrum to the Bears.
Yeah, and it's a brilliant start. Claykie George, massive boot on her, flying that ball down. I'm sure it's probably a little bit more central than she wanted, and Courtney Keat just takes off. Gloucester-Hartpury looking that in terms of the defensive integrity of their line, going up all together. But again, Bristol just trying to keep the ball alive. And it's a game within the game. That's a little 1-0 to Gloucester-Hartpury, I think, just from that first couple of minutes.
There's going to be plenty of little scoreboards throughout this one, aren't there? Courtney Keat, of course, one of the contracted Welsh players, was scoring tries in the semi and final last year.
Also, great start from her. There's certain question marks around the back three selection and the makeup of that and the balance, but already showing how good she is and how competent she is into that high ball and her attacking ability. Yeah,
fourth start at 15 for Keat. She's had 4 at centre, 3 on the wing. Dave Ward did want to bring Jasmine Joyce-Butchers in. We know about her defensive capabilities, and he just felt that extra little level of double defensive options in the backfield were going to be what they need today. Joyce-Butchers putting boot to ball.
Talk about Jasmine Joyce-Butchers. She is an unbelievable attacking threat. For me, you've got to try and get her on the ball as much as possible. Really nice to see that intent there from Bristol. 𝗤𝘂𝗏𝗏𝗏 doubling up on that outside. Jazz probably not super used to see her kicking the ball, but a really nice option for her with the pace that she has.
Working in tandem with Ma, who she famously downed during the Olympics in Paris. 𝗤𝘂𝗏𝗏𝗏 hitches on to the back. They will hope to try and get a penalty out of this. Mo Hunt is calling for a little bit more defensive option on that left, and Pip Hendy will oblige. Bevan for Reid. Instead of going more open, they opt to drop it back inside, but Gloucester-Hartpury were well alert to that one. Little clap of the hands from Evie Gallagher. Played at 7 in last year's final. Scotland number 8, one of their contracted players. Reid drops it back for Aitchison, was under a lot of pressure. Venner will put the pressure here on Ma, and Venner gets a bit of a boot to it. Not enough. Came forwards off Gloucester-Hartpury initially.
One of the huge threats that Bristol have is that driving more. Then they come off it, and then look at this defence from Gloucester-Hartpury. Sarah Beckett, Bethan Lewis.
Thank you.
So powerful in the contact area. Bristol again just trying to go wide with those long, lots of ball in air time. Gloucester-Hartpury just eating up that space.
Or go back.
And another good opportunity for Bristol to strike off this.
Maud Muir, first game for 7 weeks. Going out with a bit of a knock. One of those who scored against Bristol in that game at Ashton Gate. Probably most famous, not just for the 𝗤𝘂𝗏𝗏𝗏 presence, but perhaps for a certain Mo Hunt's post-match interview with Gloucester-Hartpury, by the way. Got to take your shot, right?
She rarely misses an opportunity.
That's a huge shove. Oh, but it's going to be the Penalty that goes to Bristol.
One angle. On the line.
Alex Thomas is our referee over the course of the week. I understand he was accidentally referred to as Alexa Thomas. So whatever you order him to do, I'm sure he'll carry it out for you.
Again, another one of the massive battles within this game is set-piece time altogether, but certainly at scrum time. Eleanor Perry there just getting penalised on that occasion. Maud Muir in that front row. Got Mackenzie Carson to come on as well.
Super take from Ward. Aitchison was the dummy run around the corner. They opted to hit it up the same place, which was good invention. And then the gap opening up back in midfield for Marr to come into. Just had to check to take the pass. And then the counter-ruck from Gloucester-Hartpury puts the pressure on. Christiana Balogun, player of the match in that encounter at the Stoop, where Bristol got those precious 4 points that brought them into the playoffs.
On the shoulder, no,
Mohunt
neck, play on.
having to try and bring down her slightly taller England colleague in Abby Ward. Aitchison, Byrne will continue to offer that presence in the outside channel, make those meters. Gallagher out the back. Murray couldn't quite get the meters that Phoebe Murray might have liked to there. Balogun upright.
Yeah, agree.
Into the tackle of El Perry.
Touch.
𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗵.
It's carried back.
It's going to be
in
Singh who gets hold of it, but tell you what, who's got hold of her is 𝗂𝗄𝗏 Marr. A really good follow-up by the Bristol Bears winger. Gloucester-Hartpury crucially have managed to keep this inside the 22, so if they wish they could make this a direct clearance to touch.
Leave it now,
Mohunt has got a few volunteer runners to her left if she chooses to use them, but it's going to be the box kick. Charge down from Ward, falls into the mitts of Marr, but Venner was happy to go up and nullify the option of the American Eagle. Balogun once more, brought down by Williams. Reid, another big dumping hit in midfield. Welcome to the game, Maud Muir. Aitchison now just going to play the territory game into the corner, and that is smarts from Holly Aitchison and composed from Bristol Bears.
Oh, there's so much in that passage of play. This is the clearance opportunity for Gloucester-Hartpury. Don't quite get the build right. Natasha Hunt has got almost no protection on her right for Abby Ward.
There you go, perfect.
As smart a rugby player she is, just biding her time, super patient.
On the line, please.
It's always going to be such a tough clearance kick if you don't get your build right and get enough distance back from that breakdown.
Bristol get their lines right at line-out time. Beckett gives them the meterage that will give them a bit of room for George. Bobbles along the floor, and Joyce Butchers gets the jeers from the shed. Went backwards, so allowed to play. Manages to make amends. Atkin Davis.
And the body at the ball.
Bevan looking for it. Arm was out, wanting to carry it up from Holly Cunningham.
Target the ball.
Former Hartpury College and Exeter Uni player. She was one of those that came off the bench in the final as Keat goes into Lewis. So many English and Welsh battles all over this field. Oh, but that was an uncharacteristic drop from Hannah Bottoman. And she's getting the full Eeyore from the shed.
The shed are fully involved in this, aren't they? This is the clearance from 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗏 again, that really tight spiral, so when it hits the deck, it does all kinds of things, bobbles around. Jasmine Joyce Butchers does a brilliant job of keeping that in. Just see it there.
And you start square out. For me, your hips came out in that scrum, which got the dominance.
May have nicked the whitewash, but
please.
nonetheless does a brilliant job and then takes off. And then again, it's just that little inaccuracy, that ball from Ciara Bevan just slightly behind Hannah Bottoman. She wants that out in front. She wants to be steaming onto that.
Look at all the faces in the shed, loving every minute of it. And look, let's not shy away from the fact that this is what Premiership Women's Rugby is bringing these days. A slightly different complexion to some of the faces in the shed, but that doesn't mean they don't want to get just as involved in every scream and every Eeyore they possibly can, and we love it. Look at that possession and territory. George, Hurd, barely seen them with ball in hand, and Hurd's just thrown it infield and given it away to Holly 𝗂𝗂𝗃. There's nobody in the backfield as a result here, and Phoebe Murray is thundering away after Hendy. It's a good pick-up from the winger. And Hunt, oh, she's almost sensed a chance to go here. Fires it out for Venner, hasn't got an awful lot on. It's been ripped from Venner, or either way it's gone forwards from Gloucester-Hartpury, and Bristol Bears are now in a really positive position. Ward, Bottoman alongside her. Hurd has to make a tackle. 𝗂𝗂𝗃, Byrne looking for the crossfield effort. It's going to be a climb into the sky. It's a loss of the ball from Hendy. Penalty advantage now to the Bears. This is the sort of field position they'll be keen on. Bottoman won't drop that one, but does exactly what's required of it. Penalty advantage still being played. 𝗂𝗂𝗃𝗵cie tried to smuggle it away. It did eventually get held by Ward. Alex Matthews trying to slow things down, but they know they've got this penalty advantage, and a new advantage with an offside. Bevan on for Cunningham. Double hit on the Bristol second row. Bottoman offering, but as a dummy runner, and Byrne will rarely want to be a dummy runner. 𝗂𝗂𝗃𝗵cie. Reed. Can they just make the numbers tell? Bottoman this time, a little bit closer, trying to wrestle through Bethan Lewis. Referee still playing that penalty advantage. Balogun. Good drive back from Perry. It's energy sapping from Gloucester-Hartpury when they know that even if it comes to naught, Bristol are going to have another chance. But they're not going to want to give up 5 points too easy. Balogun again, a little isolated, but Gloucester-Hartpury choose not to compete at that breakdown. Byrne. Shadow of the posts. Bristol Bears having to work, but it becoming more lateral than it is thrusting just at the minute. 𝗂𝗂𝗃𝗵cie dinking it through. Will it sit up? Cleared out the back from Venner, just in the nick of time.
We're going to come back for the penalty once they pick one, but this is where it all starts. Gloucester-Hartpury's attack, Tatiana Hurd on that inside line, and then Holly 𝗂𝗂𝗃𝗵cie, she does this so often, she just gets in those passing channels. Kick through, Gloucester-Hartpury on the attack, trying to get out of their 22, lose the ball, and then Bristol just get into that fantastic attacking shape that they have, keep the ball so well. I think Gloucester-Hartpury conceded a couple of penalties within that, which is why they've had the choice of which one they can go back to.
Bristol Bears choosing the penalty position that is over in this corner, suggesting that 𝗂𝗂𝗃𝗵cie is going to drill this in over there. She might want to avoid the fans that I think have got a banner saying, "This is my first rugby game." Absolutely loving that. Well, they brought all the stash to make sure that they're looking the part. To the front, and it's Butchers, as it so often is. Won the most line-outs of anyone all season. And now Bears rumbling down towards the corner flag. Mo Hunt, the last one to have to try and defend it, but against the Bristol forward pack, it was always going to be a struggle. And Lark 𝗂𝗂𝗃𝗵cie, an 11th try of the season for the Bristol Bears hooker, and it's the visitors who were on the board first at 𝗂𝗄𝗏𝗏𝗏ℎ𝗏ℎ.
So clinical from Bristol Bears once they get into that maul setup. It's one of their great threats. That's why you have to be so good with your discipline when you play against them.
I'll give you 10 seconds, OK? I'll give you 10 seconds.
Just really patient. Amber Reid gets involved. Phoebe Murray gets involved.
Just for your info on that
great patience from Lark 𝗂𝗂𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏 on that outside edge.
She was lifted, but she was put down on her back, and so it's just the impact of hitting the hard surface.
That's one of the biggest threats that Bristol Bears pose, and that's why it's so important for a Gloucester-Hartpury to not let them get that close to the try line, not concede those penalties, not give them those opportunities. They're so ruthless once they get into that red zone.
And look, we know that Bristol Bears are a side that love to keep the ball, sometimes, as we've seen over the course of the season, dangerously so in their own 22. But perhaps even more in terms of a game plan here this afternoon. If you don't let the circus play and show you their tricks, well, you keep the ball and you grind out a score or two.
Well, exactly that. And I think this is one of the great tests of this Gloucester-Hartpury side, is how patient can you be? Because you know, it's easy to say we know we're not going to have much ball in this game, but when you're out there and you haven't had much ball, you know, how patient can you stay, how disciplined can you stay until your opportunities come?
Off a foot.
Restart. Untidily dealt with, but came off a boot initially. And a Gloucester-Hartpury knock-on. Pip Hendy has just stayed down for a moment. Got 26 minutes against Harlequins, back wearing number 11 for the first time since that Loughborough game. Let's just have a look at it.
Yeah, I thought it was more serious than it was, OK? No. So apologies from your squad.
Pip Hendy tries to get down on the ball. Referee said that they're both going for the ball. It's a tough one. Pip Hendy gets there first.
No, just had a try.
Now we have some Premiership Cup action coming up for you. Friday at 7 p.m, TNT Sports 1, Newcastle Falcons against Bath.
Just trust us.
And second one to look forward to will be Saturday, 11:30 in the morning. TNT Sports 4 for this one. Exeter Chiefs against Ealing Trailfinders.
Not now. Come on.
Premiership Rugby Cup reaching the business end. Streaming on Discovery Plus as well. Certainly seemed to take a bit of a smashing on top of the ball as she went to ground. Did Hendy.
It's just two players going for the same ball on the ground.
It's been checked. Both players are going for the ball on the ground. Time's on now. Much better last time, thank you. I can sit back, yeah.
Yeah, no, can you just make sure she stays on side?
I'm sure she will.
Bevan giving it the chat to the referee.
Crouch!
And for Mo Hunt's benefit as well.
Bind! Set!
To wily campaigners. Bevan in. Aitchison's got a bit more room than she expected there. Continued the running. Then Keat on the outside. It's nicely set up by Joyce Butchers coming in off the right wing to begin with. Now Gloucester-Hartpury trying to keep Holly Aitchison from getting to ground there to try and turn over the possession with it remaining a maul. But Aitchison did well enough. Reid wants this. Akin-Davis right down on the bootstraps. Murray fizzes it away. Joyce Butchers fancied the chance to try and swat away, and she's tunnelling underground for a couple of extra metres, and that's decent from the Welsh winger. Lovely tip on from Bottomon for her front row colleague. Byrne. Reid fading on that little passive line out the back. Then it's there for Joyce Butchers once more. And again, it's another consistent period of possession for Bristol. That just as I say that, Gloucester-Hartpury with the turnover. Zoe Aldcroft.
He also got a neck grab on the turnover
Hunt.
by White. Neck
Back in for Muir.
White on the turnover.
Just feels, Emily Scarrett, there are a whole load of names in this Gloucester-Hartpury side we haven't name-checked yet because of how little ball they've had.
First turnover.
It's insane. They put in a hell of a decent defensive effort already, and now they've got an opportunity to stretch their legs a little bit with the ball.
Thank you, George. Looking for the dink for Venner. Gallagher gathered it well, but we were always having a little look in the background, and it's a neck roll against Lark Akin-Davis.
Well, it's a brilliant turnover initially. Jasmine Joyce Butchers getting her hands on the ball a lot. Neve Jones there, you can just see her straight over. She's so strong. She's not the biggest, but she's so strong in that jackal position. Zoe Aldcroft with the chop tackle, gets herself out of the way. And then you can just see there, just around the neck from Lark Akin-Davis, and a penalty for Gloucester, and an opportunity, arguably maybe first proper one of the game, to have some attacking ball in a good position.
The Ballymena Bell, Niamh Jones. 27 tackles against Harlequins. It was more than the whole opposition front row managed.
The work that she gets through is unbelievable, whilst playing in the front row and whilst having to do everything she does at set piece as well. Her defensive abilities and capabilities are phenomenal.
On the line, Bristol! Okay. Don't move. Gloucester's moving first.
Good competition from the Bears, but Gloucester-Hartpury do enough to bring it down. That was a little wayward in midfield, but Hannah Jones confirmed as Wales skipper under new head coach 𝗤𝗵𝗲𝗄 for the Women's Six Nations. The referee initially said play on, but our TMO, David Rose, has come in to advise that it did go forwards.
Coming for a knock-on.
Right, well, we've got a little pause in play, and you imagine after the first quarter that Bristol Bears head coach Dave Ward might be the happier. Let's find out. He's speaking with Claire Thomas.
Dave, you said pre-match that you'd need to get a lot right today, leading 5-0. How much have you got right?
Yeah, well, quite a lot, to be honest. I think, look, we've held onto the ball well, we've tested Gloucester, we've found some space. Look, we've probably held onto the ball a little bit too much, certainly when we were going back a couple of phases, but I think Holly and Amber have got us out of trouble a couple of times. And again, if they're going to give us that more space, we're going to take it.
That's interesting on the possession front. Does 80% not feel sustainable then?
It doesn't, because that's a lot of possession for a lot of the game. And we've got to be happy with Gloucester having the ball in their half. That's not a position they are used to, okay? And this could be a weapon for us in this game of scrum. But for us, again, we've got to make sure that we can keep that focus for the full 80 minutes, which is a really tough job.
That is 2 scrum penalties now already with just 15 minutes on the clock. How essential is that to your plans today?
Yeah, it's huge, but again, we know who they've got to come on. Mackenzie Carson, they've got some very good forwards to come on as well. Our scrum has been brilliant for us all season. Our expectation is it's brilliant again today.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for your time, Dave. Deep breaths. We'll see you in a bit.
Cheers, Claire. Thank you.
Well, of course, they are co-commentary buddies down there, old Claire Thomas and Dave Ward, but also keeping him calm. Thank you, Claire. And our thanks to Dave. Was another penalty at scrum time. 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗃 not quite getting them into the 22.
There's quite a clear intent, isn't there, from Bristol Bears in terms of the set piece, the maul, the scrum. Not really pulled anything out too early unless they've really started to struggle. They've tried to keep it in, they've tried to look for those penalties, they've tried to obviously feel like they've got a decent ascendancy in that area.
Phoebe Murray, lovely ball from Atkin Davis. Murray, one of those players that's just grown through the Premier 15s into the Premiership Women's Rugby era of the last couple of years. That was loose. Did it get forwards in the tackle?
Just a penalty for me.
There's a penalty advantage being played, and 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗃 will happily dink it through, and the bounce of the oval ball. Is it going to work out? Mo Hunt has come in to make sure that nothing untoward happened. There was penalty advantage coming, but that was another scare for Gloucester-Hartpury.
Deliberate knock-on.
Well, this is it. Bristol, again, just going through their phases. Tatiana Hurd gets herself high in that passing channel. And then Holly Aitchison just seeing a little bit of space. Dave Ward just spoke about it. Potentially seeing those opportunities. Doesn't quite get the grubber through. But again, based on what happened last time Bristol Bears were in this part of the field, it looks ominous for them.
Well, Holly Aitchison has taken every blade of grass she's allowed into that corner this time. Movement in the Bristol line. Who's going to be the receiver? Of course, Avi Ward, the one who goes up, not contested from Gloucester. They want to try and get numbers behind this maul, but it's rumbling towards that corner flag again. And down they go. Referee says try. Evie Gallagher coming up. Was it Lark Atkin Davis? They were all in there. But it's try number 2 for Bristol Bears, and well, Dave Ward might have said to Claire Thomas that They can't just keep playing, keep ball. It's unlikely for the rest of the game, but so far, after 24 minutes, it's working a dream.
Well, they'll keep doing it for as long as they can. The maul is such a threat. It has been all season for them.
Thank you.
But again, this is the blueprint of how Bristol Bears play. You cannot give them opportunities. You cannot give away penalties and allow them into kind of deep areas of the field to take advantage of their mauls and their opportunities there. Gloucester-Hartpury now, I'm sure Natasha Hunt, Zoe Allcroft under those posts, talking a lot about discipline. You can defend anywhere on the field, but you can't keep giving them opportunities to kick further down the field because they are so good at taking them.
It's also just going to raise interesting questions in terms of the top 2 inches, isn't it? Because Gloucester-Hartpury are a team that have been so used to winning over the last couple of years. Of course, earlier this season, they lost 3 games in the autumn. Zoe Allcroft was saying that it was being viewed as a bit of a crisis. They did have a bit of a talking to from 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗵𝗀𝗺, who's been supporting the women's programme, to say, look, you're not in a crisis, you're going to be OK. 3 games won in December, and suddenly everything felt OK. But they're not a team that often find themselves in too much adversity, and it's going to need all of their international class and experience to just keep cool heads and stay on the mission.
Well, you think you have the direct comparison of last year's final in terms of they were down at half-time, weren't they? I think it was 17-7 or something. So they have that exact experience to draw back on. And these are the moments, exactly that, getting off the line, forcing Bristol Bears' skills. They've now got some really good territory. They've got an opportunity to get their hands on the ball, and that's what we were talking about in terms of that patience. You won't get as much possession as Bristol Bears have when you play them. It's just not how it works. So when you have it, you've got to be patient with it.
12 out of 15 of the Gloucester-Hartpury starting lineup in that final last June. 11 out of 15 for Bristol Bears. This is the strength of this rivalry as Matthews goes and always makes more metres than you expect she might. Singh, late arrival of Allcroft, feeding it out for Venner. Closest Gloucester-Hartpury have come to the Bristol Bears line all match. Hunt will feed Muir. Well repelled. There for Perry, striding for the line, getting close, getting the score. Gloucester-Hartpury having to remain patient and finding their first punch in the match.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. That's almost one shot, one kill, isn't it, from Gloucester-Hartpury? They get one opportunity. Get Alex Matthews off the base of a scrum. She is all power, all pace, all tenacity to step off that right foot to find that bit of space. Zoe Allcroft then gets herself around the corner from the scrum. I'm not sure how she did that. And then Elle Perry with the power to get over. That is exactly how Gloucester-Hartpury play. One opportunity. Points on the board.
Let's go, please.
Singh. Oh. Pushes it wide. She is the league's top point scorer. 63% accuracy. It's 50 kicks out of 80.
Yeah, she'll be disappointed with that as a start point. We've seen how crucial kicks and conversions can be in the latter parts of games so recently. But now we've got a game. Now the crowd are getting into this.
Venner, good take. Very happy to offer the ball up to the World Player of the Year nominee in Alex Matthews. George, Keat, good take. Good movement in the backfield to make sure she could take it on the full. Finds Perry. Aitchison, quick hands on for Butchers. We've seen that shape down this near side a couple of times. Bottom wanted to try and dink it on, but was wrapped up in the tentacles of Sarah Beckett at the time. Bevan for Aitchison once more. That's just the nature of a slightly no-look floated pass, in that sometimes it will just float its way into touch.
Yeah,
just a little bit inaccurate on that short side. Bristol have done this quite a bit. They do it. They come back to the short side just to test you. The work rate of Alex Matthews at the moment is through the roof, making a couple tackles, getting off the ground so fast.
Gloucester, come in. Let's go.
to the tail. Allcroft brings it down. George, midfield. Beckett. Hunt gets there. Allcroft was one offering, but it was to George, and now Tatiana Hurd.
Inside.
Back in it comes. Muir once again. Allcroft. Bristol Bears now having to put in the defensive shift.
Tackle!
Gallagher and Ward will release. George again. Perry, the try scorer. Plenty of shirts there to effect the clear out. Allcroft, big hit into her and Rose's teammate Sarah Byrne. It's just gone forwards in the tackle. Allcroft might appeal it. Hunt's got hands to head.
Lift up. What's forward?
Well, some big carries, some big shots. Can't quite see what happened or where it came from that angle. Big collisions from Sarah Byrne and Zoe Allcroft. Good defensive set from Bristol Bears. Obviously just conceded, then a bit loose with their skills, and it's really important to get back on that front foot. Good defensive set, get the ball back, get back into their systems.
So regular in the PWR Team of the Week, Sarah Byrne. Emma Singh, I think, the one who leads the way in that department, but Mo Hunt, Ellie Kildunn, Poppy Cleal, all in there with multiple appearances.
Meg Jones, she's in most Team of the Weeks, isn't she?
Yeah, she's made a few.
She's been all right this season.
She's on holiday at the minute, if you're keeping in touch with her Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely time. Reed gets it out for Keat. It's been bright since the start. Bevan.
Okay, leave the line. Good contest.
Ward. It was good from Abby Ward.
Backed off.
Reed. Bottoman. Phoebe Murray did that nudge along the floor. Certainly the noise below us suggests it did. Referee is asking David Rose to have a look at it.
Not clear out of the play on.
Bevan trying to feed. El Perry getting in for the turnover and winning the penalty. She'll get all the thanks from her teammates to weather that particular Bears storm.
And they're so good at it. Gloucester-Hartpury are so good at getting over the ball. Again, Bristol, nice attacking play, different options, but when you play those options front and back door, sometimes you can get a bit detached as the support clear-out player. El Perry on that occasion. We've seen Neve Jones do it. We've got Georgia Brock on the bench. There's so many breakdown attacking threats. Just gets herself over, manages to have a little lift.
Just got a Bristol player down.
Just does enough before she's off her feet to ensure the penalty goes their way. Rani Samuda, the one who wore the shirt last week. El Perry's last game was the win at Sale Sharks.
You have water.
So good to see her back. Had some time out to have her little one.
Thanks.
So good to see her back playing really well, starting for this Gloucester-Hartpury side.
Chance for the forwards to take in a bit of air. Of course, there's the man who... Is it his last game? Is it his penultimate game? Mo Hunt talking during the week, saying he's done so much for this club and been one of the rocks in her own game, getting her to the level that she is. Mo Hunt also talking about the congested nature of the season, saying it has been brutal, particularly those girls that are not contracted full-time.
I'm not a medic, so I'm not.
Friday night game. It was good fun, she says, but 6 girls, some of them on a night shift, some working in A&E all day, coming down to the game. So the heart goes out to those of them that are juggling full-time work. Rachel Lund, certainly one of those. It's a balance as this women's game continues its journey towards full professionalism, and a huge respect to those that are able to work and play. Just Gloucester-Hartpury's second visit into the Bristol 22. Referee happy enough with the position of Abby Ward, but now Hunt will get to play it, and it's Hurd who'll be the first receiver, just slightly bouncing in off the two tackles of Aitchison and Reid. Floated one in for Muir, but Muir will get those legs pumping. 6 metres out Gloucester-Hartpury, and now penalty advantage 2. Perry again. Trying to hold her up was Gallagher.
We've got penalty advantage.
Allcroft, they've got numbers on the left if they can use them. Can they get over the line? Short is called from the referee. Options right and left, nobody on the left. And an easy score. Work was done on the way there. But the happy recipient, Sarah Beckett, scored a try in the semi-final last year, or the year before last, I should say, and she's got another one this year. Big one as well, ties up the scores.
Yeah, it all came from that maul to start with. Abby Ward did a brilliant job of getting through and slowed it down, and then Gloucester-Hartpury, look at the width on that pass from Mo Hunt. Just means that it chops right into the defensive line. Bristol Bears are having to scramble around the corner, and then they've got so many opportunities out wide. They don't take it on the first one, they don't quite take it on the second one with 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗆, but then it's an absolute walk-in for Sarah Beckett on the final one.
Let's go, please.
Singh to try and put the home side in the lead for the first time. The shed like it, and the flags are up. Well, it's taken until the 35th minute. But a little bit like the final, Gloucester-Hartpury have had to wait, and they now have their noses in front.
Yeah, and this is the finish. Again, 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗆 goes close. She perhaps could have tipped it on one more. Sarah Beckett on the one after it. Really, really simple. But it's just the build-up play from Gloucester-Hartpury.
Not just the only Beckett plying a trade in the PWR as well. News this week of Charlie joining the coaching setup at Sale Sharks, along with Tom Hudson, formerly of Leicester Tigers. Could be some good stories to come out of Sale Sharks into next season, by the way. Good talent on their way there, but this is the talent of Gloucester-Hartpury at the minute, and it's Singh from Jones. Not too many involvements with ball in hand so far from Emma Singh, but my goodness, is she top of most of the stats, quite frankly. Penalty Gloucester-Hartpury. Singh with top points in the regular season, joint top carries with her opposite centre, Phoebe Murray. Top for the metres, 1,720. Top for defenders beaten, 97. Basically, if you're playing top trumps and you've got an Emma Singh card, you've won everything.
You'd be doing pretty good, wouldn't you? Which is really interesting. Again, like we always talk about momentum swings in games, and you know, everybody having their kind of 10 minutes, and this seems to be Gloucester-Hartpury's at the moment. Obviously, Bristol got away to 2 early tries, and then Gloucester-Hartpury coming back into it. Emma Singh, brilliant touchline conversion, taking them into the lead. But as we approach half-time, both teams will just be wanting to continue to build on what they've started already.
Gloucester-Hartpury in possession again.
Once more. Some more. She's bound in.
Having to show the sort of mettle that is befitting of champions.
Look to use Gloucester.
Given the early 10-0 lead that Bristol Bears showed. Hunt's gone in to get the ball, but she's ended up being absorbed into the maul, but she's done really well to get that away. And now it's Hurd. And then there, quick hands, and the juggle from Hendy. Coming back for the penalty that Mo Hunt was all too happy to advise the referee on.
She was, wasn't she? 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗆 was the one that had got herself through.
2.5 to go.
Deemed illegally so, but she was the one putting the pressure on. Gloucester-Hartpury been told to use it at that point. Mo Hunt there, she'd been told to use it. She's trying to get in there, digging for the ball. And as you say, pointed out to the referee that she felt like somebody had come through, perhaps where they shouldn't have done. Haven't seen too much of 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗆 on the ball yet today. It's such a prominent carry for them. Brilliant steal.
Yeah, critical steal. Just as Gloucester-Hartpury were beginning to build a little bit of momentum after the 2 scores, you just wondered where the next 2 minutes would go if the Cherry and White had held onto the ball, but Now Bristol with the chance to keep their hands on it. Bevan wants it from inside the 22. Makes a clearance, not huge meterage on it. Gloucester-Hartpury won't mind that too much, but they'll certainly want to correct the issues at the line-out.
Yeah, definitely. Abby Ward, such a prolific line-out operator. It's just straight up, really, isn't it? It's pretty easy in the end for them. They don't have to do a huge amount of movement or reading. Just get themselves in the air, get themselves in front of the Gloucester-Hartpury player.
No contest, play on.
No contest at the line-out. Hendy coming off the wing. That looked a little bit high, and it will be the penalty, and Gallagher knows it. Oh, it's straight yellow. Well, perhaps given the momentum that Gloucester were bringing into that particular challenge, referee straight into balancing the yellow card, and Emily Scarrett saying we haven't seen too much of Evie Gallagher. Well, we're going to see even less of her for 10 minutes.
End the line, end the line.
Yeah, lovely line-out play from Gloucester-Hartpury. The pace at which Pip Hendy hits this ball just absolutely takes off. And Evie Gallagher just doesn't quite get that one right. And as we approach the last sort of 30, 40 seconds of this half, a massive opportunity for Gloucester-Hartpury just to extend that lead a little bit.
OK, thank Mo. I'm not going to change it. Thank you.
Sarah Byrne just getting a little bit of attention from the physios down there, just to mean that Bristol Bears can just regroup. They can have those conversations that they need to have. Just lost a player.
OK.
Is that what Mo Hunt was signalling to the referee?
Make sure you stay when my hands are up, please. Keep the back line with you. Thank you. Thanks, Nicky.
Just as much fun about the relationships between scrum half and referee.
OK, Gloucester.
Well, we told you about the Premiership Rugby Cup semi-finals. Of course, we have the final of PWR, and if things were to stay like this, well, it would be Gloucester-Hartpury in it, but it will be the winner from this against Saracens, Sunday the 16th of March, 2 o'clock. TNT1. Cannot wait. Which one of these two will be there? Oh, this is a lot of movement towards the line. Where's the ball? Players going down left, right and centre, but Sarah Beckett's crew weren't the ones with it. It's laid back by Jones. Now it's there for Hurd. Gloucester-Hartpury a little narrow at this point in terms of attacking options. Now they come round the corner. 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗏, big one for Emma Singh, who will get through and score. Plenty of points from the boot for Emma Singh, but how important will that try in this one become? An 8th try of the season for the Gloucester-Hartpury fullback, but critically the 3rd try in this game against Bristol Bears.
Again, all from that driving ball initially, get round the corner. Bristol Bears have put Amber Reid in that to try and help defend it with the loss of Evie Gallagher, so when the ball does come out wide, they're one player short. They managed to deal with it on that first occasion, but they just can't recycle themselves fast enough. 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗏 with that lovely pass. Emma Singh in, but Mia Venner as well on this far right-hand side was in acres of space.
And a conversion as well. Well, what a first 40 minutes we've been treated to. Gloucester-Hartpury having to weather the Bristol Bears storm, going down 10-0. But then having the wherewithal, having the patience, having the belief to say, not in our house. 3 tries to the good themselves. And that conversion from Emma Singh means at half-time, it's beautifully poised. Gloucester-Hartpury 19, Bristol Bears 10. 𝗤𝗵𝗵𝗶 is in. Sarah Byrne remains on the field, so we suspect a little bit of movement around there. Will it be that Sarah Byrne moves into that Bristol Bears back row because, well, she's a former centre, as we know. Mobile, as you like. Other change, as Reid just drops the restart. Maud Muir has completed her 40 minutes back from injury and has been replaced by Catherine Buggy. Have you finished your sweets, Emily?
Nothing wrong with this half-time squashy, Nick, thank you.
Got to keep the energy high. Certainly for an encounter like this. It is Pam. Byrne. Bevan getting a bit of double protection. Alex Matthews poised to put the pressure on. And Bethan Lewis, Bevan's Welsh colleague, was also ready to get in her grill, but it's Singh. He was well positioned by the touchline. And now it's a good area of the field for Gloucester-Hartpury to have it, and that's good work from Elle Perry, who was just pinballing her way through the middle. Hunt for George. George thought about winding up the big one. 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗵 did well to get into position to shut it down, but now Hannah Jones, a little isolated, is going to need the support, which Venner recognised straight away, and Hunt is in good position to continue the momentum for Gloucester-Hartpury. Hurd then tiptoeing into that 22. Tipped on by Perry again. Dynamic from Matthews. George again. Singh on for Hendy. Hendy on for Lewis. And that one deemed a little forwards. And will bring about the scrum, despite the continued play from Emma Singh.
Started the second half pretty much as we left the first, haven't we? Elle Perry's been really good. Strong in contact, powerful leg drive. Gloucester-Hartpury, again, just taking that wide opportunity when they felt it was on. Unfortunate just to go forward there, but Bristol Bears, good defensive set. Seen Holly 𝗤𝗂𝗧𝗔 getting off the line a few times, trying to get into those passing channels, just induce that extra bit of pressure.
She's had a good game, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's played really well. Love to see her hands on ball, kind of attacking that line a bit more. Obviously, they use that wide ball so often. But she's got fantastic feet, brilliant ability to beat defenders.
Crouch!
Interesting to see that on this Bristol play, they've got 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗏 right in the middle of the field here. By the way, I should warn everybody that if I big up what they're going to do off the back of this scrum, it's going to go to ground and be a penalty, and we won't actually see the run. That's the law of rugby commentary. But that is that midfield position from Ma.
Yeah, and it's something you can do when you have the flexibility and the difference in players' skill sets. Some little dance in the middle there, but having somebody with her pace and power through the middle, potentially probably running one of those short lines, or giving that Bristol Bears an opportunity to get punchy and over the gain line in the middle.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
In from Bevan. Starts to crab. She's waiting for an arm up or a penalty. The referee is not interested yet. Now he is, and that's what they were waiting for. Enough scrum dominance as 𝗤𝗵𝗏𝗏 celebrates their third scrum penalty against Gloucester-Hartpury to give them a little bit more room to clear it. 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗏𝗏 will depart her midfield position and get ready to chase this one up the touchline.
I think Amber Reid will claim that scrum penalty. That's probably the reason 𝗤𝗂𝗏𝗏 was stood in the midfield. Amber Reid going onto the flank just to help while 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Gallagher is still serving her time in the sin bin. Amber Reid, such a brilliant player, able to adapt. Again, Bristol Bears have had the dominance in the scrum all day, even with the loss of 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Gallagher at the moment. Amber Reid steps in, able to control that ball at the base, eke that penalty out, and now all of a sudden in a really good position on the field to have a crack from.
Amber Reid a little more comfortable practicing a bit of scrum technique than a man formerly of this parish, Johnny May, once looked. Bevan for Pat. Had to take it high on the shoulder and ride the collision of Alex Matthews. Did well. 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏. Murray. Bottoman. Travelling fans from up the road, or giving the call of Bristol, as the Bears play a bit of keep ball once more. Murray linking nicely. Pump from Jazz Joyce, didn't get rid of anybody, but still had enough time to get the ball away as Byrne goes in. 𝗏𝗏 Jones wanting to interfere. Bevan gets rid of her. Pam again in midfield, and then managing to get through the gap. And 𝗤𝗵𝗵𝗃 loves to be in open territory. Gets the right fend out. Sensibly rides it to floor. Bristol have got numbers here if they can get it through the hands, which they can. 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗏 for the corner. Well, the fans turn out in force for one, 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗏, and she's delivered the try in the corner, her 4th PWR try of the season.
This is where it all started. Bristol Bears again, the ability at the line. Phoebe Murray, great hands. Get some good edge space, great clear out. Speed of ball again. Width of pass, big ball carries. This great shot from Niamh and Alex Matthews. Then this is the one from 𝗤𝗵𝗵𝗃. Came on at half-time. Looks like she's on the flank, actually, from that previous scrum. So powerful in contact. And then Gloucester-Hartpury just aren't able to recover. Great skills from Holly Aitchison. Simple pass and give. And then 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗏 into the corner. That's a great score.
But as yet, we've yet to see a conversion go over the posts. And while percentages can vary, it is proving to be a bit of an Achilles heel, because Bristol would be in the lead if they'd slotted all of their conversions. Not to say that they're all absolute sitters, of course, but 19-15, the gap, 3 tries apiece, tells you that it's been down to the conversions. A minute more that Bristol will have to do it with 14, incidentally. Big score in the context of the full 80, though. Bears needed that. Bevan, Aitchison, the dummy. And Reid, Joyce Butchers pumps it up and over. Singh was well met. I think Emma Singh thought she had a little bit more time there. She was well eaten. Hunt, George, floated over. Beckett. Allcroft. Pam with the tackle. George. Hurd, a little bit more depth to try and open it up on those wider channels, and Singh, options outside, continues to take the metres available right in front of her.
Okay.
George has gone to that right side, but it's going to be tricky to have made anything really work out there with just Venner at her disposal. Bristol Bears looking to choose the right ruck to get in and over the top of, to try and slow the momentum as Hurd goes in, bounces off Byrne, but Byrne stays in the fight and brings down Hurd. Now Singh, where's she off to? Gloucester just losing shape momentarily. Jones. Hunt off to the right, Allcroft. Jones of the Hannah variety, and then Venner just tiptoeing on the whitewash. We have seen a fair bit of upper body strength from Mia Venner over the course of this season. Exeter Chiefs fans would know that when Gloucester were down there, but look at this.
Bristol
But only Bristol going to get back up to their full complement with Evie Gallagher. But it looks like 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗏, having scored the try, will be making way.
She's just doing your lace, I think. Yeah.
Just checking.
Because
I think it's just a
Yes.
Bristol, well, they've got the pace of Millie David, Millie Wiz as she's known, and the brute force of Roe Marston Mulhern. It's an area of Bristol Bears that Dave Ward has wanted to ensure could be really powerful, and the work off the bench here during or against a slightly tiring defence, one that certainly had to work hard, is what these changes are all about. Will we see more of the US Eagle, 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗏?
Time is on.
Solid line out. Now they're at.
Once, Kira. Phoebe stops, 13. Switch knocked on, scrum. One and 7, change. Number 1 and 7, yes. Time's on, let's go. Here we go.
Into touch, but again, just shows the variety that this Bristol Bears team have in their attacking arsenal.
It's one of the Gloucester-Hartpury weapons who's been brought off the field, having put in a decent shot. 𝗂𝗵𝗲𝗼, their first try scorer, replaced now by 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗂𝗵𝗃. Lovely feature with partner Sarah Byrne this week. Byrne the enemy today.
Stay, back foot.
Hunt for George. Hurd into Reed. Big drive now. Georgia Brock onto the field, and perhaps talk about the impact that she made in that game in January at Ashton Gate. George again. That's Carson showing those fresh legs. Short side again. Singh in the line. Gloucester-Hartpury making good meters now. Beckett. Gallagher was in there for the turnover, wanting every bite at that cherry, and the referee happy eventually to award it.
4, holding on.
Maybe trying to make some form of amends for that yellow card at the end of the first half, but Gloucester-Hartpury going really well. Mackenzie Carson's had a few nice touches, really stable scrum, big carry. Sarah Beckett as well. You can just see Evie Gallagher there. Keeps fingertips on the ball. Clearers can't deal with her. It's getting a bit tense for me, Nick. 50 minutes. This is exactly what we wanted. We wanted a tight game. We wanted two teams going at it.
Do you need another squashy? Taking a long time to get this one in. Eventually they just opted to go to the front, Bristol. Bevan. Oh, Pam is just busting through tackles. Reed,
onside.
Midfield. Will it sit up? No, it's avoided. Emma Singh. Murray playing a bit of football on it. Mo Hunt's going to be the one to get back there and has to fall on it. Venner is going to deputise at scrum half. Emily Scarrett's pointing down below that Sarah Beckett is in acres, albeit in an interesting wing position. Fired back for a more conventional clearance from 𝗂𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃
Hands to the line.
All right, let's hear how things are feeling in that Gloucester-Hartpury camp down with Claire Thomas.
Rhys, it's always a proper ding-dong when you two meet.
Bristol,
Swings of the momentum pendulum every few minutes or so. Where does the balance of power currently lie?
Well, currently it lies with us with the lead. How long that lasts, I'm not sure. But the girls have been defending exceptionally well all game. Hopefully we can continue that. We'll try to be a funny play, but we've just about defended it. But no, it's been a cracking game of rugby. I think both sides of the ball. For the first 30 minutes, we didn't actually have it, so we had to do plenty of defending. But then when we got hold of it, we were quite decisive and clinical with what we did with it, which is really good. And yeah, hopefully the game continues to be a really good contest. And there's a mistake. Cracking game of rugby.
Absolutely belting game. You've made over 120 tackles already. Is that reflected in the raft of changes you've just sent on? Fresh legs required?
Yeah, I mean, the girls that were on from the start did an unbelievable job. 𝗂𝗲𝗲𝗵 I thought was outstanding, tackle after tackle, getting over the ball, getting turnovers for us. But every time we play Bristol, we know we're going to have to defend for our lives. They keep the ball exceptionally well, and the tackle count's always going to be really high.
Well, that is your specialist area, I suppose, so we'll let you get back to it. Thanks for your time, Rhys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rhys. Thank you, Claire. Sizable error there. Overcooked the kick into the corner, Emily.
They're just trying to go for as much as she possibly could. It was Sarah Beckett that gave away the initial penalty, just tackling somebody off the ball, but because Bristol are throwing threats at the line, don't want to give any backward steps. You want to get on top of it, you want to try and make dominant shots, and just overread that one a little bit.
It will very much be on the minds of Gloucester-Hartpury to get out of this area of the field. The importance of that Mar score has just narrowed that deficit. Bristol know they're one score away from regaining the lead. Matthews into a combination of Bevan and Reid. Hunt. George. Jones. Outside for Singh. Singh trying to avoid the whitewash. Just wonder whether Emma Singh's got to try and do a little better in those wider channels.
Yeah, you've got to try and fight off against that touchline, especially when you've made such good meters as you have. It all starts again from Alex Matthew at the base, just gets off so well. Then look who's involved in this tackle. Ciara Bevan, Amber Reid, Holly Aitchison, 3 tacklers having to stop her. That gives Gloucester-Hartpury that opportunity to hit the edge and not have a shot out wide. But as you say, if you're doing that and you're taking that many meters, you've got to retain possession and go again.
Let's go. A couple of times they've seen themselves lose it through the carry. Good competition. Comes back on the Bears side, but Gloucester are trying to get over the top of that as quick as they can.
Stay.
Atkin-Davis. Gallagher. Reid. Big busting hit in midfield. Aitchison. Murray. Reid once more. Double hit from Hurd and Jones. They're not going to say yes easily. Byrne. Oh, another one who won't be tackled. Bevan for Aitchison. Playing through the middle with Cunningham, but then overplaying. And Hunt fancies a quick one. Not going to be allowed it.
It's touched the AR, you can't go quick. It's hit her feet.
Referee just explaining that it hit the assistant referee's feet, therefore they weren't able to go quickly, but it's a lovely thought.
Time's off.
And that's Bristol, that's the way they play, but when they're slightly inaccurate with it as they were there, it can be their undoing, because they've now given away possession. This line-out will be about 30 metres out for Gloucester-Hartpury. Really great
nice
attacking opportunity.
Got you on camera.
Well, the Premiership Rugby Cup semi-final stage beckons here on TNT and TNT Sports 1, Friday, 7 o'clock. Newcastle Falcons against Bath. That is the first one on Friday. And then on Saturday, nice early one for you, 11:30, TNT Sports 4, Exeter Chiefs against Ealing Trailfinders. 2 of those Premiership Rugby Cup matches available for you, streaming also on Discovery Plus. Delaney Burns coming onto the field, replacing Holly Cunningham. Of course, we know that the winner of this match will face Saracens. Alex Osterbury's side taking their place in their 5th final. We knew earlier this season, of course, that the designated venue of the final is the StoneX in London. So that's where everyone will be in a couple of weeks.
Okay, yeah, of course. Wait for the replacement.
So Amber Reid has just departed us, I think, for an HIA. So Meg Varley.
Okay, Bristol, where you are.
Comes into the fray.
Okay.
Being part of the Scotland setup, yet to make a debut, Varley. First start for 11 months was against Exeter in January after a foot injury. Beckett. Nicely for Venner. Venner upping the pace, getting it away for Hendy. Gloucester-Hartpury in full flight. metres away. Hunt is there. Beckett back involved. Wasn't going to be Carson, nearly there.
What was that?
For the tip on back inside. Brock, but no, a little deeper. Hurd fancied the chance to just dance away all the way through. A metre short this time. Surely it must be Gloucester-Hartpury getting over for the try. 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗵𝗀𝗃, as any good co-captain will, taking charge. But it was all about the sweep of the attack that took Gloucester-Hartpury right into the thick of things.
Yeah, it's a great start to play. Driving at the line, Sarah Beckett out the back, delivers to 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗵𝗀𝗃 on, as you say, that lovely arc. Brilliant ball out in front of Pip Hendy, who again just backs herself, doesn't change her stride, accelerates. I thought Gloucester-Hartpury might have gone a bit wide too soon on that one. Tatiana Hurd makes a great physical decision to just go back in, and then 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗵𝗃, who has been unbelievable all game in terms of work rate, defensive effort, gets herself over for a score.
Conversion from Emma Singh opens up an 11-point advantage now for the home side as we edge towards the final quarter of the match. Is that sufficient distance for the circus to start dreaming of a third successive final? England head coach John Mitchell watches on. Lewis Deacon just a little further back in your picture. But Aldcroft named his England captain. Getting the fourth try, of course, no bonus points this afternoon. It's all about the scoreline come the final whistle. But that is a real shot in the arm to the belief and confidence of this Gloucester-Hartpury side now.
You okay?
It is, and I think what we'll see now from Bristol is their game plan, but amplified a little bit. They've got to bring some energy to it. They've got to give it everything they've got. Yes, there's still 20 minutes left, but you just feel that Gloucester-Hartpury have got a good hold on this game at the moment.
It's absolutely the point at which the old cliche, leave it all out there, comes into play, isn't it? And how lovely is it that we have Ed Slater here alongside Billy Twelvetrees. Of course, the Gloucester-Hartpury home ground, now known as the Fort Ed Stadium, which is a lovely touch to such a key man of this wonderful club. We send all our love to Ed and his family. Mo Hunt. Dave Ward talking during the week, saying that in terms of having to try and contain everything that Gloucester-Hartpury do, that English rugby, that Mo Hunt is a bit like English rugby's Antoine Dupont. I don't know if there's any higher compliment, although of course only one of them's won a Rugby World Cup, and I imagine Mo Hunt's taught him everything he knows, right?
I think she might get that phrase framed, I think, and put up in her house, though, Mo. But yeah, I mean, she's been brilliant for the last few seasons. Obviously leading this side with 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗃, but always front and centre. Her speed of ball, her ability to attack those fringes, keep them honest or go herself. Such a huge driving force behind, one, how well this Gloucester-Hartpury side play, but also how well they've done over the last couple of seasons.
Also second for assists over the course of the regular season, 13 all in all. Previously been the top of that particular stat for a couple of seasons, but she's right back up there with 13. Just 𝗂𝗄𝗃 Mattinson over the season, who got one more, as we see Eliane Clark coming into the mix. Scottish prop. Got her first test start for Scotland on her 13th cap against Fiji in September. Atkin Davis.
Still moving. Alex, don't change.
This is just what Bristol want.
That's not a tackle.
Continued moving forwards. They'll be happy. Clark. Straight into the action, but also straight into a meeting with Alex Matthews. Bevan, she's changed things up and looked for the big one over the top. Oh, you could just see the idea. Had it come off, it would have been beautiful.
Not going to touch them all right.
It was there, the opportunity was there. 𝗂𝗄𝗲 Bevan does a brilliant job of spotting it.
Line's yours, Bristol.
Just comes back against the grain. Mo Hunt comes high, fires one over the top. Abby Ward goes for it as well as Rowan Marston-Moore.
Just needed one of them, didn't it?
Yeah.
Own your moment.
Most day.
Oh, but it's Bristol again. Bevan. Burns coming round the corner. Tiptoeing from the sunshine into the shadow. There's nothing shady about this attack as far as Bristol Bears are concerned. Into the corner, going Millie David. Oh, the strength to get there, but has she managed to get the finish? She is a demon finisher.
Okay, so on-field, there's no reason not to give a try, so on-field try. Yep. Okay.
On-field is try, but how on earth has Millie David got this? 16 tries in 13 starts over the course of this season. But could this be one of the most important?
Yeah, OK, Alex, you got on-field try. We're going to check touch and grounding. Sorry, touch, sorry.
It was great phase play initially by Bristol, just wrapping round the corner. Oh, that is an unbelievable finish.
Alex, that's the best angle we've got there. She's not in touch, retains possession and grounds the ball.
So you're happy that she retains possession. There's no separation, and then she grounds it.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, there's no separation.
So her fingertips are always on the ball. She doesn't lose separation. Therefore, I can award the try.
You can.
Thank you.
Here we go. Decision is made.
There's no clear separation.
So
She still holds the ball to try.
There we go. Well, if you're getting down to your local club and you're looking to impersonate a winger or two, you go a lot worse than wanting to be the next Millie David. A 17th Premiership Women's Rugby try of the season. Plenty of them have been stellar.
No problem.
But to do that in a semi-final, when about 17 members of the opposition are on your back, not too bad.
It's an amazing finish, and you just think of teams need moments in games to potentially galvanise them, to change the momentum. This is the play from Bristol. It's lovely at the line, balls at the back, great ball from Phoebe Murray. Jasmine Joyce-Butchers does a great job of straightening up, and then how on earth she has the leg drive to fight against that touchline and then ground the ball. It's a fantastic finish from Millie David.
4 tries apiece, but it's the 3 conversions from Emma Singh that are currently the difference. Bristol have got to come again. Bevan for 𝗂𝗄𝗲. Marston Mulhern. Might have a few numbers again on this side if they can make it work. 𝗂𝗄𝗲, that one was a little looser. Byrne, skilled enough to dip low and get it, even having committed to the cause for a good hour already. Eliane Clark then doing the business. Phoebe Murray popping up at first receiver more with the absence of Amber Reid. Bevan again, a little deeper that time, the option. Joyce-Butchers. Atkin Davis just had to wait for that one to come to her. Not making huge meters just yet. Ward flicks out for 𝗂𝗄𝗲, taking it to the line. Keat, and then Byrne. And look at the pace when Sarah Byrne really gets going. Such a threat. Singh's got on top of that. Was that knocked forwards? Playing on. Brock getting in, trying to get over it. Kicked through and kicked away, crucially. And now Singh looks to her right to see what the options might be. She's just going to carry and let the forwards accompany her for the next platform. Jones, missed pass for Beckett. Beckett just trying to keep it out of the clutches of Byrne as she goes to ground. Every little contest and contact and carry, meticulous and detailed from both sides as they try and swap the other one away. Through the hands of Singh, and it's going to be a tidy-up job, and what a tidy-up job from 𝗤𝗄𝗃𝗃. Waits for the support, not the easiest for Buggy to take.
Not on the ball, Kira.
There will be those moments as well at this stage of the game where the little gaps between defences just open up tantalisingly for those sorts of busting runs. Alex Matthews had to get rid of her own teammate in the process. George, crossfield kick, Singh on the outside, really good take from Singh. Oh, she just looked up to find Venner a moment earlier, but Venner has managed at least to get hold of it. Singh for Williams, Hunt for Williams. Jones, Gloucester-Hartpury looking to try and reassert the 11-point lead they had. And 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗃 gives them the voice that they want. Hannah Jones is through! Hannah Jones to score! Well, the Gloucester-Hartpury centre crossing the whitewash in a crucial match to continue the Sean Lynn dynasty. What part of his next dynasty will she be as Wales captain?
It starts with this break from 𝗤𝗄𝗃𝗃. That 𝗤𝗄𝗃-Millie David matchup now on that right-hand side is a brilliant one. She does a great job of getting in behind. This crossfield kick from 𝗤𝗂𝗃𝗃 just sees the space out on the edge. Emma Singh takes it brilliantly. Again, 𝗤𝗄𝗃𝗃 not too far away. And then it's just about phases for Gloucester-Hartpury. Hannah Jones does a brilliant job of noticing that defence are just over-drifting towards the sideline off that left foot.
Singh slots another. And this time it's a 13-point advantage. With each score adding a conversion where Bristol have failed to do so, just pushes them out a little more. She's a classy player, Hannah Jones, isn't she? She does a lot of the simple stuff right that doesn't necessarily thrust her to the forefront of people's minds, but she's spoken about so fondly defensively and picked a perfect line there.
And that was the exact right thing to do in that situation. Defence was just pushing towards the touchline, over chasing a fraction off that left foot, fights off 𝗤𝗃𝗃𝗃. And again, just that pragmatism almost of Gloucester-Hartpury. They go ahead, clear their lines, albeit perhaps not as far as they would have wanted to. Really important now for Bristol Bears to get something going. I would be surprised if we don't see this stay in the maul for a little bit.
And the Reid has rejoined us for Bristol Bears. This contest is going to continue like the sort of heavyweight prize fight that it is. It will be the turn of Bristol Bears to strike the next blow. And it's Bevan on the runaround. Commits Hurd. Then a little bit more room for Jasmine Joyce. Butchers to run into, and Keat then. Gloucester-Hartpury patient enough to watch them come through.
No hands, no hands.
It's a really messy breakdown.
What was that?
Burns digs it out for Pam. Murray's going to have to play scrum half as Kira Bevan was well and truly put through the washing machine in the last ruck. Now she's able to get back there, but it is Murray. Oh, she's given the intercept away to Tatiana Hurd, who nearly slipped the net through Aitchison as well. Reid backpedals quickly into the backfield, knowing what the option might be. Hendy with the pick. Offside penalty. And from this area of the field, with these minutes on the clock, critical moments.
So critical, and it's because you're trying to get the ball back, it's because you're trying to get off the line, and and put the other team under pressure. You know you need the ball, you know you need possession at this point. But that's not gone.
No, that was not the execution from 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗆 that we are used to seeing. Got the feeling the teammates might have expected a little better. Burns.
No hands, please. It's your own player pulling it back in.
Bevan is, I think, beginning to get a little frustrated with our referee, but I'm sure the feeling will be fairly mutual. Oh, is that the turnover? No, not quite. Allcroft. Tackles being made on top of tackles here. As Emily Scarrett winces alongside next to me. Quick hands, that's worked nicely. 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗆, oh, back in field, but it's just found the hands of Gloucester-Hartpury co-captain Mohan. Gets it on for Carson.
Agree, ball's out.
Oh, Bevan's gone for everything. I've said it went backwards. Don't know if Bevan did get a hand to it, but Williams winds up the big one. What a beautiful left-to-right pass that was. And Venner sticks it through. It's not going to stay in field for the winger. But this is breaking up. Then Emily Scarrett's off her chair.
I wanted the foot race, Nick. I wanted to see that foot race if that ball had stayed in. Yeah, Ciara Bevan is flirting with that offside line, flirting with intercept territory. Really, really keen to get her side back on the front foot, back with possession.
Let's go, Bristol! Yeah, come up, Bristol. In 5. Still moving.
Bristol happy to just
Once.
see this keep on moving.
She broke away. Now attacker! Release
Gloucester now have to release this. And it's going to be Pam to show us her duties at the back of the ruck.
Arrive at Bristol.
Need to get to the other end of the field, the Bears, at this point. Ticks down, 7.5 minutes remain. Aitchison, midfield one for Murray. Murray is in a good position to take it as well. But there was an offside player in front of the ball.
13 in front of the kick.
Murray so keen to get there and field it. Not quite able to.
On the line, please. After the kick.
Well, Emma Singh. Decision to just push that scoreboard out.
Stay behind for chasing, please.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's the obvious decision. If she's successful, it will take it past 2 converted tries.
Successful she is. Continuing to keep a personal score tally ticking over right at the top of Premiership Women's Rugby for this season. But no more importantly in this semi-final. 16 points the gap now, Gloucester-Hartpury 36, Bristol Bears 20. 𝗤𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗆 leaving the field along with Tatiana Hurd. Sean Lynn now perhaps recognising he's got 2 weeks to ensure that all of his charges are in good form. Singh, more room to go again. Williams Hunt is there, Allcroft offering.
No hands, a rock.
Could hear Sarah Byrne screaming Mo's going to kick it. Nobody coming forwards to claim it, though. Reed being the one to do so.
Thank you. Or left.
Always one to put her body on the line for the cause, Amber Reed, and now trying to find David on the wing. Was that a little bit high? Pam, Aitchison, Byrne, Matthews with the tackle, but there again for Bristol, and Reed on for Murray, but just couldn't quite hold on to it.
Yeah, stay with your on-field decision there, Alex.
Yeah, just hit the shoulder, man, up, so different to the first one.
I think it's Zoe Allcroft's tackle on that far side, but the work rate of her to get across to make it in the first place was phenomenal.
Changes being made for the circus. Steph Elfs onto the field. Gillian Bogue onto the field. And Meg Davis. Natasha Hunt leads those leaving the field, along with Neve Jones and Kate Williams as well.
I mean, all three of those have been brilliant. Kate Williams and Neve Jones, especially in the defensive side. Gloucester-Hartpury have had to work so incredibly hard on the defensive side of the game today. Those two have put in a real shift.
Delaney Burns did really well to keep hold of the pill there as she started to career through that double hit. Bevan reloads again. Reed, just wants to get it out of the mitt and does so well. David is dumped. Byrne.
Yeah, play on.
Bevan again. Murray. Ward, Aitchison, Alicia Joyce Butchers onto her wife. Back in field comes Keat. Counter ruck attempt. But now we've just got stoppage here.
We've got players that had injury.
Alex Matthews might be the one down. And it was a loud blast of the whistle, so it's good to see that Matthews is now sitting back up. We've just seen a couple of passages of play again, Emily, with Amber Reed. We saw her go off for the HIA. She's back in.
Alex.
Yeah, get this up.
She's been quite the campaigner for Bristol Bears,
Alex,
and who knows how many seasons left that Amber Reed may or may not choose to play. But what a campaigner your former World Cup winning teammate is for this
amazing.
side.
She obviously hasn't played as much rugby as she would want to this season, but her ability to make everybody else look good around her with the quality of her basics, the quality of her defensive effort, skill set has been phenomenal.
It's looking very much like it will be Gloucester-Hartpury in that final against Saracens at the StoneX. TNT Sports 1, Sunday the 16th of March, 2 o'clock. Pop it in your calendars. Make sure you can join us for that one.
They've checked that there's no foul play. She's just in the tackle. That's where I blew up. Sorry, Ty.
Of course, TNT Sports is getting even bigger. Incredible lineup of live sport now featuring the Olympics, Grand Slam tennis with Roland Garros and the Australian Open, Grand Tour cycling including the Tour de France, the World Snooker Tour, plus so much more. New obsessions await. Plenty to enjoy now on TNT. It looks like Matthews is getting back to her feet. She looks like she's ready to go and rejoin her teammates. Of course, we are in that slightly nervy time of year. 6 months to go until that World Cup. Everybody wary of what an injury or a serious injury can do. Look at Alex Matthews. I've got another eye, I'll be fine.
I mean, she's an absolute warrior. She will not want to leave the field if she doesn't have to. She's been superb. all this afternoon, carrying from the base, defensive effort again.
Okay, stay attached.
The babyface battering ram of 2014.
Crunch!
You talk to Alex Matthews about rugby, she will just tell you in very simple terms, I just love hitting people.
Set!
And boy, does she do that well for club and for country.
Feet, fine, please. Height's not been a problem all game. Standards back, please.
Let's go then, Bug. Let's go, Buggy.
It's pretty clear from the referee.
Feet, fine.
Everybody get up.
Let's go again.
Seconds.
Crunch! Bind! Set! Stay.
In and away.
In line.
Keon Lewis. Well, Meg Davis now then. This is just going to float around under the post. It's going to be an easy one to dot down. Goal line dropout in the minute. Bristol Bears have momentarily retired as if it was going to be a 22, but it will now be Hyatt to get it going now. Marston Mulhern. Else looking to try and challenge.
Thank you.
Aitchison, Murray, lovely smuggle out for Alicia Joyce-Butchers. Another one of those stellar talents for club and country, Joyce-Butchers. Gallagher floats it up for Marston Mulhern. Came out pretty quickly for Lewis. Aitchison again, Reid, chance to put it through the gap. Oh, it was so nearly there. The hands go to the face of Reid.
Scrum called.
Admired the ambition.
Scrum called, forward pass. Let's go.
All right, well, it's that time of the game, Emily Scarrett, who's impressed you over the 80 in this huge encounter?
Oh, there's been some really big performances, I think. Niamh Jones and Alex Matthews certainly have been warriors, as we've said, defensive side of the ball. Emma Singh, in terms of her kicking, keeping Gloucester-Hartpury ahead the entire time. But there's been one player whose work rate has been through the roof. She scored a try. You know, all of the stats show that she has been an absolute workhorse this game. So the Clinique Game Face player of the match is the England captain, Zoe Allcroft.
Well, her head is in there somewhere. The person coming up with it, Alex Matthews. As if to say, what, you didn't pick me?
Off it.
Penalty Gloucester-Hartpury. Chance to close this out.
Off it. It's time.
Alex was very close to getting it as well for the exact same reasons. But ultimately, I think it's the defensive effort from Gloucester-Hartpury. We saw the stats at half-time in terms of how many tackles they've had to put in, and Zoe has fundamentally absolutely led that charge, as she always does.
Play on. Last play.
Roe Marston Mulhern. Oh, the turnover comes the way of Gloucester-Hartpury with it going forwards. Clock in the red. Hoping they're all on the same page to clear possession. You can hear the screams of the players to each other. Kick it out, kick it out. But the counter up from Gloucester-Hartpury, from Bristol. But it will bring about the end of the game. And what a game we've had to enjoy. Gloucester-Hartpury have done it again. Top of the table, a semi-final win against Bristol Bears, whose season comes to an end. And now perhaps, well, one of the biggest challenges this competition has to offer. One last high-wire act for the circus, a PWR final against Saracens at the StoneX. The three-peat is on, with a hungry Wolfpack ready to stand in their way in just a fortnight's time. But the tears may flow on one or two faces. They have won this second semi-final against the Bears. Gloucester-Hartpury 36, Bristol Bears 20 is how it's finished up.